watcher, welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful day here in England today. We've got about 90 odd degrees, about 32 degrees centigrade. It's a scorcher, I'm not going to lie. The workshop is way too hot to be doing anything inside. As you can see, don't know if you can see that or not, but the mercury is tipping 100, just a touch under 40, so it's pretty damn hot. I'm walking on the grass because I've got nothing on my feet, and when I'm walking on the paving slabs, it's burning my feet. It's like being on the beach abroad, which is not cut out for this in England. It's lovely, but we're a moaning old bunch of kids, aren't we, eh? Now today we're digging something out that I've had quite a while. What better day than test my new strimmer. I bought a Ryobi strimmer. I've got a petrol one there, a steel one, but it's something wrong with the petrol tank. I've got to get it repaired. In the meantime, this is a longer one. It's probably a little bit better for edging because it's not petrol, it's just battery. So we're going to get it out and give that a go. Yeah, look at this. We may be knocked out, but I'm still rocking the colours. And over there, bunting all around the garden. Look at that. Beautiful. This is a little paddling pool I just got out, help the kids cool off in this weather. It's looking a bit sorry. I think we've got a puncher in the top section. I think I may be pumping that up. I may well be jumping in that later. There we go. Put a bit of air in. Bring it back to some semblance of decent shape. So Ryobi do 4 levels of strimmer. 4 of them ranging in price, going from 60 quid up to 150. This is the OLT1833, which is the top of the range, which I think is 150. I think I'm going at 135. Got a bit of a deal on it. It's part of their 1+ range, so it works with a battery. It's not power cord operated or anything like that. With a 5 amp hour battery, they say you get 23 minutes runtime on this, so that's not much. This is a battery drinker like you wouldn't believe. But you've got to have a pretty big yard to want to need this for more than 23 minutes. If you're just doing around bushes, around the edges, 23 minutes is plenty. Let's open this up, see what we've got in the box. I'm not expecting too many different parts to this. Got the main body with the trigger on it. We've got the handle and the head with the standard bumps. No, that's not the head, that must be the handle, because this is the head. Okay, this is interesting, because what I've read online, I've been told there's 2 different things here. One of them said it's a bump spool, which feels like a bump spool, so every time you hit it on a hard surface it releases a little bit more spool. Another reviewer said that it was trigger activated, so every time you pulled the trigger it let out a little bit more line. Now this is 2.0mm line, so it looks to me on first impression that this is a bump spool, not an trigger activated one. Okay, in the bag you've got a handle for the middle of the strimmer itself, and you have an extended piece of the head guard. On the head guard itself you have this bit of metal here. Now this is what cuts the strimmer wire. You can, at the moment it's set to 33mm, so in this position closest to here you set it to 33mm. You can adjust this to 28mm, so you can make the strimmer wire 5mm shorter, and the way you do that, let me quickly show you. You change it from this position here to this position here. Use the same holes, and as you see that moves the bit of metal from here over to here. That makes a difference between 28 and 33mm. Just screwing it back onto the longer setting. And the reason this is important, whether it's 28 or 33mm, because obviously at the moment it's there. If I push the bump stop and we pull both ends, I don't know if I can do it, it makes it longer, yeah? So your bump stop feeds out more than you need, and this is too long. So what it does, when it hits it, it cuts it off here, so that will cut it at 33mm. If it was on the other one, it will cut it at 28. Every time you hit the bump stop, more spool comes out, and then this is what cuts it off to the desired length. Otherwise it'd be a metre long and cutting your legs, wouldn't it? Now on the inside of the guard protector you have this hex key, Allen key, that's got some masking tape keeping it in place. That's to fit the 2 lengths of pole together. We can put this on and see what this looks like. Turn it over, put that there. You have to slide. You'll be able to see this on there. It's got a little tab here. Don't know how much you're seeing of this because it's very bright. That slides in that gap there. This goes underneath. We position this so. You can just use that screwdriver to locate in position. And that is your extended guard. Okay, so sunny out here. Once again, I apologise if you can't see what's going on. So this is the head, and if you look there, you've got almost like a square with a section cut out at the top. And this is the base bit, and it's got a bit cut out at the top where the nuts are. Obviously these two bits fit together, so that slides in there. Then you use the Allen key that they provided you just to cinch these up. This is something we're considering. On the handle, the nuts to do it up, they are star keys. You can use a flat-headed screwdriver, but they're star keys. So Ryobi provides you with a hex key, but they don't provide you with a star key to do that up. Something you need to put in your pack, Ryobi. So this handle is meant to be fitted just underneath the rubber section here. Now there's two ways it can go. It can either go so it's slightly towards you, or it can go so it's away from you, but you can see it's got more one side than the other. I'm right-handed, so I'll be triggering this on the right hand side using my left hand for this. So I'm going to position this way round because there's more on the left hand side. It will work for me better being right-handed. Couple of other pointers on the handle. You've got low and high, and this changes the speed, which elongates the battery time remaining. You can't just push the handle here, you have to depress the safety handle first and then you turn it on. It's quite lightweight actually, and if you hear it, it's not too noisy either. So it's less noisy than a petrol Strimmer. If you're wondering why I went for the top of the range one, first of all, it's brushless technology, so it's new technology, so it should last longer. And this is the reason why I'm standing up here. I'm not Shaq O'Neal, but I'm 6'2", which is getting up there in height. And a lot of the Strimmers you'll find are quite small, so they hurt your back, especially for someone who's quite tall. But for me, this is a nice long one, so I haven't got to do a lot of bending down. I can literally do it with a semi-straight back, which is what I was after. Enough jibber jabber, let's give it a go. Okay, so this, you cut your grass, you're left with a long edge. This is when the Strimmer comes into its own. The Ryobi did really well here, very happy with the performance. Perfect for this type of residential situation. Another typical situation, you've moved things around on your lawn, you pick something up and there's some long grass underneath, which is what happened here. Again, the Strimmer worked really well here, as you'd expect. No real problems, had to bump feed it a few times, dealt with it really well, didn't scalp anything. Very happy with it. This is a totally different situation. This is a area of council land near my house. They've done the no mow May going into no mow June and July, and it's all fairly long. The Strimmer coat struggled with this a little bit, to be honest with you. Obviously when you have grass the size of this, you don't attack it from the bottom, you attack it in layers. So I did this in 3 waves. Took a third off, then another third, and went down to the lower section. I think it was a bit too thick. The strimmer felt underpowered. It didn't feel like it had a lot of oomph there. I know the steel would have just absolutely murdered this and gone flying through it. But, you know, I shouldn't be coming across this level of grass in my garden. I'm going to keep on top of it. So as long as you're not going to leave your grass for 3 months and not mow it, you should be okay. But if you're going to do more rugged or long unruly grass, then this strimmer is probably not man enough for the job. Okay, we've flipped the strimmer over and now we're using it to do some edging. This didn't work too bad actually. I'll give this about a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's obviously not as high powered as some of the petrol motors, but still it didn't do a bad job. The edge wasn't too bad. It struggled to get through the thicker, hard, baked earth down to the sort of curbstones there. But to be honest with you, I think most trimmers would have been exactly the same, most trimmers. So yeah, this didn't do too bad. And I like the fact that you can just flip this over and use it in the strimmer mode. It's a lot easier to do than a petrol one, because as I said earlier in the video, some of those petrol tanks are not the most sealed units in the world, and when you flip it over you can't often get petrol leaking out. Okay, just some final thoughts. The strimmer has got its limitations. From what I was doing around the garden over there, this is perfect. In terms of weight, it's not too bad. For a big guy like me, it wasn't too bad. If you are smaller, you know, maybe a lady, you know, a slightly built man, this might be a little bit too heavy and too long for you, but for someone my size, it's a good length. The weight is okay for me. It coped well with the garden stuff. When I took it outside and did the council's Overgrown no May mow that's gone into no May June and no May July, it struggled with that. It's not particularly good at edging. When I turn it upside and try to use it for edging, it'll probably be okay for minor stuff, but the earth there is really thick. I think maybe my steel will be better for that. The only other thing to talk about is that the handle's pretty flimsy. Doesn't feel like it's going to break, it just gives you a lot of give. I think I'd like a little bit more of a firm handle. As you can see here, the bump spool isn't the world's greatest, so I don't know whether or not that's just short because I was edging with it and I've not bumped since. No, that's probably an unfair comment. It's probably because I was doing using it for edging rather than cutting. Overall, am I happy with it? For a residential garden, I actually prefer this to my petrol one, and the steel one was more expensive than this. That was probably about 200 or 300 quid, something like that. But the problem about petrol ones is you've got to bloody maintain them. You've got to go and get them serviced. There's always something goes wrong. You've got to take the petrol out if you're not using it. You've got to use the right mix. It's just a faff, and I got so fed up. I bought petrol tools because I like the idea of not having leads, but I just get so frustrated with them. So hence I've gone for the battery ones, and I'm probably going to get rid of my petrol ones now. I love the sound of a petrol tool in the summer, you know, whether it's a strimmer or a hedge trimmer or something. There's a beautiful sound to that. But I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna get rid of my petrol ones. So for me, this is a big thumbs up. I would say definitely consider switching over from petrol to battery. You know, if you're working in yard maintenance, if you're someone like the lawn care juggernaut or the guy that does the boring channel, owned by the same guy, petrol ones are the ones you're going to use all day long. You're not going to use battery operated ones because you're just going to go through the batteries too quickly. But for the average person, I'd say give it a go. Here's my thumbs up.